Hi, it's Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. How's everyone doing? Let's all take a moment to ground before you receive. All right, today we're going to do an inner union check-in. So we're going to check in to see what the feminine, masculine, and inner union energies are confronting. All right, let's see. We'll do masculines on the left today, feminines on the right, union energies down the center. Let's do masculines. What are the, I don't even have to ask the question. Geez, okay. Anything else? Thank you. Anything else for masculines? Anything else for masculines? Jeez, there's a lot to say today, apparently. All right, that's enough to begin with. Let's see. I'm trying to remember the order which these came out in. All right, masculines. You're being asked to bring a lot of self-love and love for other into a difficult situation. Actually, I don't want to label it as difficult. There's a cycle closing out for you, and so I'm not sure. It could be a good thing even. It could be, you love your job, but you got another opportunity and you want to follow your heart to a new adventure, a new growth opportunity. Let's see, how are we going to do this? What am I doing? Sorry, I haven't done one of these in a long time. Let's get set up. Set up for success here, masculines. Okay, anything else about that you want me to talk about right now, Spirit? This is going to annoy the crap out of me. Hold on. It's going to look, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, and for feminine, Spirit, and for feminines? Thank you. Anything else for feminines? What are they confronting? Thank you. It's funny. Am I taking all those? Yes, I will. Okay. There's a lot of messages. Jeez. Okay. Deep breaths, deep breaths. Keep breathing, guys. Keep breathing. Breath, sound, and movement is how you expel energy out of the body. So don't forget. That's why it might feel weird or look weird, but anytime you exhale, if you can and you feel comfortable, let it out with a sound, okay? All right, feminines, you are at yet another crossroads, another moment of alchemy, another moment of transformation. You are being called to step into leadership. You are being called to, message coming through like less work, more play. You're being asked to confront your frequency. Have you been pushing and grasping and holding and seeking, or have you been surrendering and allowing and sitting back in the seat of your throne to receive? Just start to pay attention to, is your jaw clenched? Are your shoulders up by your, I meant shoulders. Are your shoulders up by your ears? Are you tense? Are you grinding your teeth when you sleep? It's really important to just start being aware. Sometimes we don't even know we're doing these things, right? Okay, anything else yet? Let's just get union energies. Let's get union energies. And for union, what is blocking union, inner union? What would support inner union? Anything else? Thank you. Anything else? All right. Yeah, I mean, come on. There's another flavor, feminines and masculines, that you haven't tasted yet. A new way of working with all of your gifts. And remember, feminine and masculine, they're just labels to categorize different traits. They're just, identifiers. It doesn't, we are the ones that attach such intense meaning to all of these things. Okay, let's drop back in. Okay, again, union is at a crossroads of alchemy and rebirth. Feminines have been confronting all of the difficult work they've been doing and being asked to, just take a step back and reevaluate the type of leadership that has been on the planet thus far, right? There's a lot of talk of like matriarchy rising and all of these systems. This is the year of disclosure. I'm sure you've heard that. Do you hear me today? I am a little rusty, but more than that, I've spent so much time in the realm of energy that my mouth is not forming words. I was just talking about this with one of my mentors. It's really fascinating when you really allow yourself to steep in sort of that otherworldly place. And it's very common to lose language. It's very common to want to respond in energy or music or art or colors or anything other than this very finite thing we call language, right? Let's move on. Let's drop into masculine energy. So masculines, you are closing out various cycles. Not good, not bad, whatever it is, it's just what's showing up on your path. Again, you're meant to bring radical self-love and love to the situation, love to all involved, bring a lot of empathy and compassion to, maybe this completion is a difficult thing. Maybe it's a breakup. Maybe it's a dissolution of a job, relationship, friendship, business partnership. The phrase "as above, so below" keeps flashing, almost like in old Hollywood, or if you've ever seen very old black and white videos of Broadway, those big Hollywood. I keep saying Hollywood, but what I mean is those big Broadway bulbs. In those bulbs, I see "as above, so below" masculines. If you are struggling to ground in yourself, if you are struggling to figure out which direction you want to go in, start within yourself. It starts with bringing radical, ruthless self-acceptance and love to whatever is going on within your own heart first, right? First and foremost, that starts within. We have to get our own house, I'm doing air quotes, house in order before we can get the rest of our life in order, right? Carolyn Mace very famously says the external physical world is the caboose of the train. What does she mean by that? Meaning that is the result of all of this sort of quantum energetic work, right? The physical manifestation of something is actually the end product of all this other work you've done of this massive internal energetic journey that you've been on. So try not to put your energy and focus on trying to change the external world. Instead, try to be present with what's showing up in your internal world and bring radical love to whatever you find, right? We're not here to fix ourselves. There's nothing to fix, right? There's only something to be present with, right? The universe is neutral. We are the ones that assign meaning, like good, bad, dense, light, dark, like evil, good. We are the ones that assign that meaning. So if you could just surrender to the neutrality of what's happening around you, remove yourself, almost lean into a bird's eye view, like zoom out, take the personal out of this, and then try to just view your situation, yourself, your feelings from a little bit of distance. Okay. I'm hesitant to go into this without going into the feminine story, but yeah, you're making internal changes, masculines, you're healing. Something is closing out, which is ushering this like new dawn of healing, this new flavor of, I don't want to say gifts. I don't know where that came from, but the way you show up in the world, the mechanisms you use to navigate the world, everything is sort of slotting into place, and it's going to feel uncomfortable, right? Because, some of us have had patterns for many, many years, and sometimes it just, what I'm trying to say, let me ground because the energies are intense. Excuse me. What I'm trying to say is just because it's uncomfortable does not mean it's wrong, does not mean you are on the wrong path. So just hold your center and keep returning to love, masculines. Okay, let's ping pong back to feminine energies. All right. Feminines, you are coming into a new iteration of your gifts, your soul gifts, your connection to spirit, to source, your connection to the oneness within, your connection to your power source, the way you communicate with that source, whatever that means for you. Could be God, could be the quantum field, unity consciousness, fill in the blank with whatever flavor of God that you like. You are, I never like to say elevating. I don't want to say that, but your scope of communication, your skills in communication with whatever this power source is for you are increasing. You're learning how to ground in self, be present with your intuition, which gives you access to that creativity, right? When we trust ourselves, when we love ourselves, when we ground in self and trust in something higher than just us, when we know we're not alone, when we know we're not stepping into mission and purpose alone, when we surrender control and offer ourselves up to be in service, to be the vessel of something bigger than self, that is when this divine intuition flows through you. And when you have unobstructed flow and access to your intuition, it's much easier to make these wise discernments on the fly. Okay, I'd like to get more. Anything else for union energies? Anything else for union energies? Sorry, I'm standing. This is a weird height. Oops, sorry. There we go. Pride. Yeah. What's in the unconscious? Yeah. There's kind of a collective message coming in here, feminines and masculines. You know, what's being, bear with me, what is blocking inner union is this grasping. What's blocking inner union is this pressure and this drive to control the outcome, to control what the journey looks like, to try to box in our beliefs, our gifts. You know, I've been on a spiritual path since I was a little kid. I just have always had a connection to the other side. It looks very different for everyone. No one soul has the same gifts here. And why am I talking about this? Just that, no, I totally lost it. Hold on. Long story short, what's blocking inner union is this control. So what is the antidote to that control? To allow yourself to go on an adventure, to allow yourself to step into a place where you surrender to the mystery, where you don't have to know all the answers, where you don't have to have the itinerary planned down to the minute. You know, it's a very different vibe, right? If you ever go on a vacation with someone who has like a clipboard and a freaking itinerary, it's not the most fun. It's not really the greatest vibe. Like, I don't want another to-do list when I'm on vacation. It's not fun for me to schedule a million activities, and, you know, I want to relax. I want to go with the flow. If I feel moved to do something by natural present time excitement, then I will answer the call in the present moment and take action based on that excitement. Feminines, masculines, this is the core of our work, to follow our excitement. I just want to get this feels central to whatever both energies are confronting, or whatever the blocks are. This feels essential. Okay, Spirit, thank you. Clarify the question. Whew. All right, clarifying the question. What's blocking excitement? Thank you. Peace. Yeah. No shit, Spirit. Thank you. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? All right, we're getting a million cards, but I'm going to take them. Let me just see what's in the unconscious position. We have grieving. Yeah, okay. If some of you are unconsciously holding on to something, maybe some of you are struggling to forgive. Maybe some of you are struggling to really close the door on something. And when I say this, remember, the realm of energy does not discriminate. It doesn't matter how teeny tiny micro something is. If you're holding on to it, it's the equivalent of, something extreme, like losing someone and having that profound, deep grief. Grief is just misplaced love, right? So when dense emotions rise, when grief rises, try to remember that this is actually just love wanting to be expressed. That this is actually, the depth of your pain equals the depth of your love. It's just trying to find an outlet. And of course, missing that person, missing that thing, missing that opportunity, that joy, whatever you are grieving, there's deep truth in that moment. And if you could kind of tone down the flame of the grief, you could kind of excavate all this other truth, all this other misplaced love. You're being called to let it go. You're being called to release it. Okay, let's see what else. So what did I ask? I said, what's blocking excitement? And we got peace and love, of course. Allowing yourself, letting yourself off the hook. Letting yourself be safe in peace. That's not a small thing that I just said. It's a pretty large, it's a pretty tall order. It's so funny. I wish you guys were in my brain right now. I am mixing up phrases and metaphors, and it's so funny what's happening in my brain. And I don't know. We're just rolling with it today. Okay, what else came out for inner union? What was blocking excitement? Okay, we have financial health, closure, which goes with grief. Oh, I just realized you can't see this. I'm just gonna stack all of these. We have closure and grief. Yeah, what needs to close out? It's time. It's time. Are you still pissed about that ex-partner? Are you still mad about that? I don't know, that old coworker, that old boss. It could be from childhood. Are you still mad at your parents? Are you still mad at that teacher? Are you holding on? Are you bitter about something? Are you resentful? It doesn't have to be a relationship. It could also be like you just spent $250,000 on a degree program and you have all this student debt and you don't have a career at the end of it. Like, that's something that is probably very common for a lot of people. We also have financial health and fertility. There's a ripe new beginning here, and it's going to usher in sort of a whole new way of let me say it like this, a whole new value system. I don't think going forward, and don't quote me on this, and I don't know how long it's going to take, but I think we're going to decentralize money. Like, I think our relationship to what money means and is and how we use money is going to drastically shift. I can already see it. There's a lot more people bartering. There's a lot more people doing different exchanges. A lot of my healer friends just find another healer and they swap services, which is really beautiful. It's a wonderful, kind of circle. I know that's not traditionally what a circle economy is, but that's what it reminds me of. And then finding beauty, like allowing yourself, again, this reminds me of going the adventure card, wherever it was under here, allowing yourself, hold on, different message coming through. I think some of you have a story that if you stop to smell the roses, if you pause to enjoy the beauty of this present moment, that something bad is going to happen. It's really understandable. A lot of us have a lot of childhood debris, a lot of childhood trauma, a lot of limiting stories that we picked up along the way. And it's so deeply important for you to recognize what are these stories that you are keeping alive within yourself. Some people feel they're not worthy to enjoy beautiful things. And I'm not saying that means they have to be expensive or like materialistic or anything like that, but it could also be embracing the beauty within your own heart. The fact that you're here listening to someone like me, I assume you are like me in that you are a seeker on the planet. You are here to anchor light. You are here to, bring heaven down to earth. Did I say hearth? God, my mouth. You are here to awaken unity consciousness on the planet. Like, that's what we're all doing. We all incarnated here in Earth School to advance our soul, to learn certain lessons, and mainly to learn the management of our own power, to learn how do we use our power in service to the collective. What are our gifts, right? And the first part of the journey, wow, I feel like I'm on a rampage today. The first part of the journey is like learning to stand in your truth without being flooded by the external world. The second part of the journey is once you feel comfortable holding your center for love and chaos, then it's like, okay, now I actually have to own my gift, stand in my gift, and then start building a life and moving through the world centering my gifts, not in a cocky way, not in a hubris way, not in a ego way, right? But a deeply emptying of the self so that we can vessel mission and purpose, so that we can allow our, so that we can become the hollow bone in which spirit moves through us. Okay, Spirit, is there anything else we want to say today? Anywhere else you want to go? Yeah, thank you. Bear with me. I'm going to do a quick shuffle. I could tell I'm a little rusty from talking, one, because of the chaos coming through my brain, but also my throat, I can't even, it's kind of shutting down on me. All right. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else? Thank you. We have Chamber of the Violet Flame, Karmic Release, Radical Transformation. This is a nod to the masculine journey, the masculine karmic completion. Remember, when I say masculine, feminine, I'm not talking about man, woman. I'm talking about one individual that is on the path of coming into inner union. What do I mean by that? What does that actually technically mean? Physically, how does it show up in a life? It means balancing our masculine and feminine traits and healing that relationship, allowing those traits to complement one another. Basically, going from being sorry, the visual they're showing me is, and I don't like this visual, but I'm just going to tell the truth of what I'm seeing. A man and woman standing like facing each other versus next to each other, right? We're not opponents. Feminine and masculine energies are not opponents. They are partners. They stand shoulder to shoulder, holding hands or working towards the same goal here. And so we're learning how to balance what's blocking that union, balancing any wounds we have with the opposite energy. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else? I could feel myself that this was hard reading to stay grounded in. All right, we have a second one. Karmic board clearing, energetic clearing, rewrite your story, live your truth. Now that's the third karmic clearing path. Let's see. And then we have Order of Melchizedek. Is that how you say that? Embraced by light, mission uncovered, don't give up. Yeah, it's like hang in there. We're very close to the next leg of the journey. And I just want to have a little moment of empathy and compassion. This has been a journey. It's been a trek. It's been a trek over a very rough terrain. And, when you're climbing the mountain range and you make it over one mountain to only see that there's 5 more mountains for you to climb, yes, of course, it can feel really discouraging and disheartening And that's why it's so important to not wait to enjoy the beauty of your life, right? The journey is the destination is the journey, right? That's the whole point. Wait, did I say that correctly? The journey is the destination. No, the destination is the journey. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry. Oh, this brain. Okay, anything else, Spirit? Anything else? The visual I keep seeing is like you're walking on a path and there's always a left or a right turn. There's always a sharp turn. And because there's a turn, you can't see the path ahead of you, right? But once you make the turn, the next chunk of path is revealed. And we are right at that angle. We are turning the corner and we can't yet see the next leg of the journey. What's in the unconscious? We have Arcturian light codes, evolutionary downloads, recalling power, future thinking. Okay, it makes a lot of sense to me that we are pushing sort of dreams, goals, our vision as an individual and as a collective into the shadow. It's not a bad shadow. It's more of a discernment to me. It's more of a wise, it's more of a self-preservation act. There's just too much density in the bubble right now to think about the future. And actually, honestly, this is like the best shadow we can have, because what happens when you push the future into the shadow? Hopefully it would anchor you deeply in the present moment. And that's the whole point. The whole point of managing our energy and calling our spirit back from places it doesn't belong, is so that we can get our energy in present time, right? If we are, so many of us are either worried about the past or rehashing and ruminating about what has happened, or stressed and worried about what is going to happen. And when you live in that deeply polarizing energy, not only is it terrible for you on a cellular level, but it also keeps you stuck. It keeps you spinning in the past and the future. And really the only place you can affect change is grounded, rooted, solid in the present moment. Okay, anything else? I'm just going to grab a random card. I'm not even going to shuffle. Yes, success. I'm starting to get repeating messages here. Let's get some lovely messages. Hold on. Let's do Divine Feminine. All right, any closing words? We got a couple here. Oh, we have a few. It says, when you try to hold on to things after their time, you suffer and make others suffer. Thank you, Spirit. Again, this is the fourth nod to karmic completions. The visual they're showing me is when you're holding on to a rope. When someone is pulling the other end of a rope and you are gripping so tight, that is only going to harm you. You're going to get rope burn. You might even rip your skin. The best thing you could do in that moment is to let go, right? Let the chips fall where they may. And then we have new growth, leaves and fruits come forth with spring. Enlightenment comes hand in hand with perfection of wisdom. Let me read the last one and then, we have a second. Cultivate perfection of wisdom. No fire, poison, sword, and water can harm you. It's funny, in all my time of reading and using that deck, I've never read the last two cards and then they came out together. The perfection of wisdom is capitalized in this deck. I'm assuming that is a nod to the universal laws, the universal spiritual laws, like all is one, that's a law. And so the pursuit of pure, pristine wisdom to me is the symbol of the seeker, right? We are always seeking these answers to these big questions, such as, why am I here? What is blocking love? And how do I manage that love better? How do I manage my power better? I'm curious, so I have to look what's in the unconscious. In love, there is only love itself. No room for logic of the mind. Yeah, quit overthinking. That's what it is. Pursue more joy, pursue more excitement. And I don't mean I mean deep down, authentic excitement. What excites you? And if you're telling me, Karen, like, screw you, I am in the weeds, I'm struggling, like, I don't have access to excitement, that's wisdom. Honor that you can identify that you are in the density. I had a client the other day and I was describing doing the healing work. I was doing energy work. I call it axial tuning. It's a combination of modalities that I do to help the body come back into equilibrium. Anyway, he wasn't very versed in this stuff, and I'm like, how can I describe this? And I described it, when you make soup, like chicken soup, and when you have to let it cool to scrape off the layer of fat, once it cools, the layer of fat form. But that's exactly what we're doing. The density and all of the contraction and all of the pain and suffering, that's the layer of fat on top. And we do what we have to do. We seek help. We read books. We listen to things. We're seeking something to help scrape that layer of fat off. And once you do, what's underneath? All of this delicious, rich, nutritious yumminess, whatever it is. You know what I mean? So is there anything else about that, Spirit? Yeah, don't overthink it. I'm laughing because they're telling me this and I'm telling them, like, they're telling me to not overthink it in the moment because I keep wanting to say more and more and more. I'm supposed to say goodbye, but I'm grabbing one more card. We have the reunion, collaboration, partnership, friendship. Perfect card to end on. Yeah, this is how collective consciousness works. When we all are in our own little world, in our own little bubble, doing this healing work, we all eventually reach a critical mass of consciousness where we start to sync up. We start to find our soul tribe. We start to, maybe you felt like your entire life you never made sense to anyone else. And all of a sudden you hear people sitting at a coffee shop who are talking about like all your favorite things, all the things that, maybe you've been the black sheep of your family or your friend group and people kind of just like tolerate your interests. And then all of a sudden you find people that are into the same stuff as you are. This makes total sense to me. There's a ton of corruption bubbling to the surface on the planet, and people are choosing love. People are choosing, it's like lines are being drawn and it's very clear that we all are meant to choose the side of love. Okay, sorry, this was a bumpy ride today for me. I hope it was okay. I hope you received some information that was useful. If you need anything, if you want to do any healing sessions or need some support, please reach out. You can find more information on my website at KarenVitello.com. I hope this was so supportive, and that's all. Sending so much love, and I'll see you in the next one.